Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is the all-new 2026 Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid. And today, I'm gonna review it for you guys. It's the same Crosstrek you love, except now it can go up to 600 miles of range, which I feel like is all I need to say. Like, that's probably the whole review. Go out and buy one of these things. It's incredible. It's made something that was awesome even better. But I suppose for posterity's sake, we probably should do the full review, and I'll tell you about all the features and stuff too. Starting out up front on the Crosstrek, this was refreshed a couple of years ago, so you don't get any major styling changes here. The majority of the changes come underneath the hood. We'll talk about that in a little bit when I discuss the hybrid system more, but it's still a very sharp front-end design, and while it maintains Subaru's corporate look, I still think it looks distinct in their lineup. You'll get LED daytime running lights right here with LED headlights and LED fog lights with these gold accents right here. I'm not necessarily a fan of the gold accents on all of the Subaru cars, but it's pretty subtle gold accenting here, so I can't knock it that much. One more thing I wanted to point out up here is that this color is exclusive to the hybrid for this year, Sand Dune Metallic. It's pretty good looking. Moving underneath the hood, this is powered by Old Reliable, the 2.5-liter Boxer 4-cylinder. But of course, since this has the hybrid integration, it has a little bit more power output than the normal 2.5-liter. This makes 194 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. This hybrid system uses dual electric motors in addition to that engine, and that gives it the aforementioned 600 miles of range. Subaru officially quotes it at 597, but the onboard computer actually gave me a little bit over 600 when I filled up on gas. Either way, very impressive, and you get a little bit more power. The hybrid system also allows full electric driving at very low speeds, and then once you get past about 10 miles per hour, it will kick into that gas motor. No plug-in charging on this particular car. As for fuel economy, the EPA rates this 36 city and 36 highway with 36 combined, and in my testing this week, you'll never guess what I averaged. That's right, 35.1, which I should say is still very impressive for a car like this. Moving to the profile of the Crosstrek, what do you guys think of the Subaru Crosstrek? I've always liked them. I think they started a little SUV craze, especially with the black body cladding right here. That's become so popular on so many SUVs, and I feel like it really started with the Crosstrek with a slightly more rugged styling cue way back when it was like the XV Crosstrek, when they were trying to do that, the B9 Tribeca and all the kind of weird numbers that Subaru incorporated in the later 2000s. But I think this looks very sharp. I like the body cladding on this. I think that contrasts the tan color very well on this particular one. And then you'll get some pretty neat looking wheels. They might not be for everyone, but I think they're pretty spiffy. Kind of reminds me of like late 90s, early 2000s wheel designs. But it's got 225/55R Falcon tires around these 18-inch wheels. Then you'll have your hybrid badge over here, of course, a turn signal indicator in the mirror. It's blacked out. It also has power adjustment, and they are heated with blind spot monitoring as well. Then you'll have keyless entry down here, so if you have the key in your pocket, you just tap that, it'll lock. Put your hand back here, whoop, put your hand back there, then it will unlock it. You get a sunroof on this particular model and roof racks. And then coming to the rear, I did not clean this off. It's kind of dusty, but I was like, that's kind of cool, right? Because the Crosstrek at least sells itself as a more off-road, rugged, capable vehicle. So I was like, let's just leave this here. This looks good. It looks rugged and off-roady. But you'll have a Subaru all-wheel drive badge back here, Crosstrek, and another hybrid badge, a backup camera, and then your Subaru logo. Then this bar is blacked out right here. Opening it up, pretty simple back here. You get a little cover that you can retract if you'd like, LED light. Then you'll have a little tire air compressor back there, which is kind of a clever integration. You'll also have a little bit of storage over here and some tie downs. And then underneath, speaking of a little bit of storage, that's all you get underneath because that's where the hybrid battery is. You get a fix-a-flat kit, but it's nice that it includes that at least. And then no power operation on the lift gate. You just bring it down manually, which I don't mind. I like the simplicity. To me, it seems like it's less stuff to break. And then here is the key. You'll get lock, unlock as your Subaru badge. And then you do have a button that if you tap it, I guess it unlocks your trunk, but it doesn't lift it because it's not an auto lift function. It's funny, it lights the car lights up. That happens on certain Hondas and Subarus where they'll kind of reuse parts and it'll be like, well, let's keep up as a car button. Well, it does it. So maybe if you're just interested in unlocking the trunk, you can do that. You also have panic and it's pretty basic, But let's hit the interior.
Alpha Shark will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Have you ever wanted Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but your car doesn't come equipped with it, and you don't want to replace the entire radio because that would be too expensive? Well, that's where today's sponsor, AutoCast, comes in with their ScreenFlow device. You can add Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to your older car in seconds. All you need to do is plug the ScreenFlow into a 12 volt for power and you're all set. You can use your car's existing Bluetooth for audio or plug in with the included auxiliary cord. It even includes an adhesive on the bottom of the mount so it can stick right onto your dashboard. Apple CarPlay works seamlessly and it's very quick and responsive. But the benefits don't stop with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's also a split screen view. As you can see, this also includes other apps like YouTube, TikTok, and Netflix. Though of course, you cannot watch anything while you're driving. You do have to be in park. This has so many features you could even hook up a backup camera if you wanted, though it's not included with this particular model. AutoCast makes a high quality and lightning fast product. So if you've been looking to add CarPlay to your car instantly, this is one of the best ways to be able to do it. I'll leave a link with a discount code to their product in the description below. Thanks again to AutoCast for sponsoring this video.
And now, back to the video.
Moving to the interior of the Crosstrek, there's a lot to like here. Starting with these seats, I love the texture. They're very comfortable. You'll get bolstering here that has the yellow accenting, and the yellow accent stitching kind of continues all through the interior. You'll see it here on the shifter, the steering wheel, and over here on the door panel. I should mention the seats. The driver's seat is power adjustment, passenger is manual adjustment. So for those wondering, that's the seats. Moving to the doors, this is soft touch up here. One of the nicest soft touch kind of carpeted materials I've ever rested my arm on in any of these cars that I've reviewed. And that might sound crazy, but I've had these windows down a lot and this is just so cushy and plush. It's really nice. Now, of course, this is nice down here. It's a more rubberized material, but windows down, this is a nice place to rest your arm. You'll have window controls, your mirror controls, EV mode, your gas cap popper, and then this controls the brightness and dimming for the infotainment and gauge cluster screens. Speaking of, you get a full digital gauge cluster screen right here with controls on the steering wheel if you want to adjust some of the things. As you can see, it's very cool that it has navigation. I think that's a really cool benefit here. Now that is the inbuilt maps. I don't believe Apple CarPlay maps will come up here, but it's still a nice inclusion. Then you'll have volume controls, Bluetooth, and then the radar guided cruise control settings right here, and you can change between S and iDrive modes on here. That'll pop up on the steering wheel, or sorry, the gauge cluster screen. Speaking of the steering wheel, you get paddle shifters and pretty normal turn signal indicators and windshield wipers. You'll have your push button start, your trip button over there, and then you'll have a physical hazard as is legally mandated, and then your volume, physical controls, and your tuning. That's always nice to have an actual dial. Many people have tried to throw the dial away and many people have failed. You do get physical buttons to change the climate temperature and your defrost, which is nice, but most of your climate controls are relegated to the screen, which I notoriously do not like and feel is unsafe because you have to take your eyes off the road. You can make of that what you will, but that is my opinion. The other thing that doesn't help is this screen can sometimes be very, very fast and very intuitive, and at other times it can be quite temperamental. And I've had quite a few Subarus with this screen. It is acting pretty fast right now, but the other day I clicked into radio and you see it lagged maybe half a second there. I am not kidding. I think it lagged to it probably took 15 seconds to load the other day. The music came in, but to actually get to the Sirius XM screen here, it probably took 15 seconds. I was like, oh, no, we're just gonna wait and see how long this takes. It was a very long time because sometimes the screen is just overworked with certain things and does take a while, but freaking of course right now as I film this review, it's as spiffy as it could ever be. And I hope it stays like that. I mean, I like the idea of being able to split what you see to have different things up here on the top. You have your infotainment in the middle and then your climate at the bottom. That's a kind of a clever idea for an infotainment system. Other than that, it's not bad. And then if I put my foot on the brake and put it into reverse, you do get a backup camera here, and that offers a pretty clear view. It's not the clearest on the market right now, but it definitely gets the job done. And then you also have, it's actually fun if you put it into reverse here, you have your different modes if you want to put in deep snow, snow, dirt, and then I believe you can get to those X modes from one of these other screens as well. Yes, you can from the top there if you'd like. But fairly intuitive. I'm just not a fan of the climate controls on the screen. And Subaru has slowly begun to develop a new infotainment system that's on the new Outback, so hopefully that will trickle down to something like this Crosstrek, and that is a much quicker and more intuitive infotainment screen, and there are physical climate buttons, so I can't complain too much. It's definitely not a deal breaker for me on this Crosstrek. And down here you'll get a USB, USB-C, and then an auxiliary, which is incredible. I think it's awesome they're still offering that, though I don't know who would be using that, but I'm glad it's there. You'll get wireless charging, pretty standard shifter, then 2 heated seats. Nice to see that as a sort of a luxury feature here. Electronic parking brake, and then you'll have a 12-volt, 2 cup holders, some storage in here, a standard mirror. Oh, how nice it is to have a standard mirror. Folding this down, you will also have a normal mirror, and then as we fold this out, you do have an extension here. I don't know why every car doesn't do that. Subaru also offers you a little strap if you want to put things through here, right? Everybody's putting their pictures and sentimental things. I like that Subaru includes that. Then you have your controls up here for the SOS emergency and the, I missed it, power sunroof. Nice to see. Would be cool if it was a moonroof, or an extended panoramic moonroof, but I'm still glad to see a sunroof. I think it's very nice, and this is a small car, all things considered. But that pretty much wraps up the front seats. Let's take a look at the back, and then we'll get this thing out on the road. Moving to the back seats, cripplingly disappointingly, the really nice soft padding does not continue right here. Only the front seats get it. And I'd give up forever to touch you. Anyway, moving on, you do get sort of a soft touch material back here, so this is still nice if you want to do that. And then you'll have USB and USB-C for the rear occupants, which is always a nice touch. Then folding this down, you'll get 2 cup holders and an armrest and a decent amount of legroom. This is a small car already, so I wouldn't expect a ton, but I'd say I have about 5 inches here and maybe about 2 inches of headroom at 5'9", so it's not terribly uncomfortable back here, but again, it's a small car. All right, driving the new Subaru Crosstrek. I'm excited to have this. I have never had a Crosstrek as a press loan from Subaru before, but I've reviewed one of my friend's Crosstreks of the previous generation, and I did a dealer review a couple of years ago when this is brand new on this body style, and I really enjoyed my time with my friends. We took it on a road trip to South Carolina. It was manual. Unfortunately, manual is not an option for the transmission anymore on this generation of the Crosstrek. That's probably the biggest thing that upsets me. I really liked the manual transmission, and I drove it for quite a while. It was a blast. But I've always liked the Crosstreks. I think they're neat cars. They've got sharp looks, and They're very capable. I think people are looking for something that's comfortable on-road and off-road if they would need it for that. Though, of course, they're doing more on-road driving. I think all of us are for the most part. And I think the Crosstrek excels at that. I'm excited to see what Subaru does with it next. I would hope for maybe a little bit better infotainment system, but as is, it's still a car that I think is really solid. And for the price point of $35,000, I think you get a lot of neat features here, and it has a lot of practicality in addition to the functionality that it has added with the long-range hybrid battery. So this is the best version of the Crosstrek in my personal opinion. Fight me in the comments section, but I really do think that this is the ideal version if you're looking for one of these. If I were to get a Crosstrek, this is the one I would go for. Well, that's just about going to wrap up my review on this Subaru Crosstrek. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section below. And as I always say at the end of each of my videos, I am a Christian. And I say that because if you have any prayer requests, I would love to be able to pray for you. It's a service that I am honored to be able to do in addition to the car reviews, being able to care for you guys and carry your burdens. Even as a YouTuber, talking about the features of a car is something that is very special and important to me. And lastly, I like to close out all of my videos with a scriptural reading. I'm going to read Psalm 113 today, verses 1 through 5. I couldn't just pick one verse. I was like, you know what, this all works and this might offer encouragement to someone out there, so I'm going to say all of them. So, bless the Lord, my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, and do not forget any of his benefits, who pardons all of your guilt, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with favor and compassion, who satisfies your years with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagle. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. And remember, no matter what vehicle you drive, I hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well. Take care.